and this is the Queen Tulsa Show. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight and definitely support. Thank you for supporting the channel. Let's go ahead and get that right on in there. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it, right into it, right into it. And we're gonna give you guys a flashback. So let's make some corrections right now, just so we can all still be in a move, in a groove, and up to date. So there we go. So as you all know, I was on Von Rye's show yesterday, right? But first of all, I want to say thank you all for following me. Thank you for subscribing to me. And I want you guys to continue to support and follow me. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. If you find my commentary funny, if you don't, if you have any feedback, all that is welcome at the end of the show. Okay, so the link is posted in the chat. So if you guys want to come up, sound off. This show is strictly about me being in the news. This isn't a tour, this is a campaign, and I'm campaigning for myself all year. And I happen to end up on the on Rise show. Him and Storm were having I think it was like light skinned niggas podcast. And so when I jumped online, I really didn't have no uh backstory on what they were talking about, what they were doing. I just know that I scrolled past, they were live, and I just jumped in. So when I jumped in, everything was cool, of course. And we got to conversing, and I what did I do? I decided to play a game called Never Have I Ever, and that's pretty much a drinking game. And I thought that it was tasteful. I thought that it was, fun. And I'm used to having fun without identifying myself, if that makes sense. Now, when we're talking about fun, we're talking about just back and forth, chit chat. We're not talking about, oh, I'm interested in you. We're about to start dating and we have to take it to the next level. Well, as I was on the show and we're playing the game, and there was a young lady named Happy. I think she's like right here. She's right here. She had covered her face, and then apparently she had a camera slip. You know what? Camera slips all 2021. Shout out to Monica at All About the Tea for making that okay to have a camera slip. But we're going to move forward. So we're in conversation, we're playing the game, and it comes up. Um, I don't know. I I was just actually there to have innocent fun. Like I was just there. I was enjoying the moment, and some way, somehow, my OnlyFans came up. I said, "Hey, follow me on OnlyFans," and at that time, Storm and Vaughn, like I said, there was no connection there. There was no let's take it to the next level. It was no ulterior motive of me getting on his panel, on his platform. Like I didn't have a, a motive. I just went to have fun. So I sent them my OnlyFans, and Storm looked it up. And so he's like, "Oh, I don't roll that way," and blah blah blah. And so Vaughn, I guess he looked it up too. And so they got upset because I didn't come in and say, "Hey, um, you know, I'm an extraordinary girl and this is how." I was just there having fun. And I feel like we were so engaged and we were having a great time to where the real conversation didn't really happen. And it's going to happen because they're going to we're all giving each other the opportunity to come together and learn from each other. And so what we're doing now is, okay, so I stop right there. I'll finish with the other part when I come back because, I was on there and then I eventually left and then I had come back. But what I was saying was, it's I'm okay with having uncomfortable conversations, right? And really, at that point in time, I didn't think that it was a bad thing. Like, I didn't think that it was you know, a big deal. If they went to the OnlyFans and they saw like, hey, this is this, or he said, oh, black T girls. What is black T girls? And then he says, oh, well, T girls is trans girls. So I guess they put it together. But I didn't feel like I needed to come in and announce, hey, this is what's up, because I wasn't sleeping with them. We weren't making it to the bedroom. We weren't taking it to the next level. We're not interested in each other on that level. I mean, I feel like on a professional level, yeah, like we're gonna do work together, but that's a conversation that we're gonna have to open up. And I definitely want to bring some of my sisters that can relate, my sisters that are on my side. And when I say on my side is that live this life, that walk this life. I mean, 365, 24/7, that can give you all a backstory on who we are, how we move, and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. I'm just here tonight to give commentary on where I stood in those conversations. I will be having some ladies join me. I'm not sure if it's going to be tonight, but I do have a very special guest that I really want you all to meet. So we were there. And so Vaughn dropped me down. And so, they're having conversations. Oh, that was a nigga. And I feel like the misgendering was so inappropriate. The misgendering was so inappropriate on so many levels. And it's like, if anybody would understand, I would have expected Vaughn to understand, like, okay, you're in the headlines, you're in the news, you have something over your head, and people are automatically going to assume and they're going to like belittle and put you down. So why would you do that to me? Was my question in my head. And I'm pretty sure when we have the next deep conversation, I'm pretty sure he's going to address it. The next encounter that we have on a panel, um, this won't be an overnight change. This will not be an overnight change. And I know with the LGBTQIA plus, it's so much to remember and it's so many labels, but I want us all to get them right. And if we are unsure about anybody, we can just simply say, hey, what are your pronouns? What are your pronouns? And if they give you a pronoun that you don't agree with, that's not your place to dissect that. That person, for one, was being vulnerable. For two, was being cordial. And then for three, it's like lost without an understanding. So let's get back to the story. So they bring me back on the live. And they were like, we just need an apology. And in 2022, I'm just at a point where I don't want to grudge with anyone. I don't want to be into it with anyone. I know it'll happen. I know it's possible. But if I can prevent it, I'm definitely going to prevent it by all costs. Because you know what? 2020 was a year that it just hit us like an airbag. And it was so unexpected. So I say that was the year of vision. That year you were supposed to find it within yourself, some talent, some skill, and execute it. 2021 was a year of reveal. And it was just a lot of things that wasn't serving us, and a lot of things that we dived into or were a part of wasn't really necessarily a good look, or not necessarily the experience that we wanted. But you know what? It's not what we wanted. We needed to have that. And so, being that we left out of that last year, let's leave all that behind. 2022, we're applying pressure. We're doubling up. 2022 is a year to double up on whatever it is that you want to do. Seriously. And ladies and gentlemen, there should be a link in the chat. So if you all want to come up, if you have an opinion, if you see me on a space and you probably didn't like something that I said, well, now is the time to come up. Let's address it. Yeah, now's the time like we can really address it. And let me cut my volume down because I'm trying to make sure I do have the link in the chat for y'all. Okay. So the link is up. Mommy, did you want to come up? I definitely want to talk to you, Mommy. I definitely want to talk to you. Get your opinion, get your view, and woman to woman, let's have a conversation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mommy Coffee, who's in the chat, she's a good woman. She wasn't disrespecting nobody that I know of. But I do, since she was there, I would like for her to come on. She was on at one point in time, but then she had dropped down. So okay, so I go back. They wanted an apology, and like I said, doubling up. Let me apologize. Okay, no problem. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be seen as problematic because if you know Queen Tulsa, like I said, I was seen on All About the Tea and all that good stuff, and there was a beef that had kind of went down, and I don't even want to rehash it. I don't want to, it is what it is. And so I was in the news. I'm on everybody's panel. I was just fighting myself in these YouTube streets and blase, blah, 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 blah. Where I am today is taking accountability for my actions, um, making connections, networking, bringing up uncomfortable conversations, having uncomfortable conversations, discovering the better me, discovering the better my better audience. Like I want to discover y'all. I want to pick y'all's brain. I want to see where y'all are. So when when I'm coming on live, I want us to be able to, like engage, interact, and I don't want to feel like, oh, this is a Queen Tulsa show. Well, yes, it is the Queen Tulsa show. However, our motto is this is your time. This is your moment, and you will get it here on the Queen Tulsa show. A lot of some panels that I was, that I tried to get on at one point in time, won't let you on their platform. So definitely be on the lookout for some interviews, some content. Like I said, feedback is always appreciated. So moving into the conversation. So we moved back into the conversation, and then it got to some conversations of really, at an all in all, I enjoy both. I enjoy Von Wright and I enjoy Storm Monroe because you want to know why? They're very, very controversial people in the news. They have a story. They have topics that that I wasn't always interested in, but now it's like now it's time to start having these conversations. Long story short. Oh, we do have our special guest up in here. Mommy, we are about to bring you on. Welcome to the Queen Tulsa Show. I think you're muted, hon.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Happy New Year, and how are you doing today?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Queen Tulsa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, babe.
Sis, I don't know what's going on. I don't have my Wi-Fi on, but for some reason it's like scratching. I have an iPhone, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're fine. I can hear you. Did you just want to go ahead and let the people know, like, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings on how everything went yesterday?
Oh my goodness. Like, not expected. It was really fun. Like, it was fun because, like, I was even like, my neighbor gave, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything. You got the floor.
No, my neighbor gave me like a little seltzer or whatever. So even like what people were saying was kind of funny. What they were saying in my situation, then when it came to yours, I wasn't reading the comments or nothing, so I don't know what was said. But I just took it as basically like it was new for Mr. Vaughn, and then I feel like for Storm, he was just kind of like he's just like a go with the flow type of person to me. But I think things just kind of like went left, but then they came back, on track, and then it just turned out to be an even better. Like, I'm excited to see you go out and you show like people that it's just I don't know, like I understood what you were saying. I understood like how the conversation was going. I just think that you know it was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, it was a misunderstanding, but one thing that I did take from that
Hmm.
was they support me. And no matter what the differences are, no matter what their opinions were before, they're willing to change those opinions and thoughts about us, the trans community. And I
Hmm.
want us all to bridge together. I want us all to be in spaces and nobody feel uncomfortable. I want us all to be in spaces where um, everybody can be respected. And I feel like our next go round, that will be the boundaries. You know, that's where we set our boundaries.
Yes.
That's where we teach them about how to address people. Like if you're not sure, ask someone, hey, what are your pronouns?
Yeah.
Mhm. Now, speaking of, because you had left, now I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting there and I was listening to you and I was listening to your story, and what
Hmm.
really stuck with me was the man in the taxes. Like, what happened with that?
Everyone has to understand I'm very sarcastic. Like, I think people were taking me as a totally different, because I have like background in radio, television, and film. I was just telling my side but in a sarcastic way, and I think people, like, he didn't take all the tax money. Like, I bought a car, like there was things. It was This happened in April, so we got our taxes in March, but I'm just saying the last little play money, he took it. That's what I was trying to say.
So long story short, he ran off on the play. He ran off on a plug.
You're so funny. Yeah. 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 So,
So listen, in that regard, um, did you forgive him?
mm, so we were together for 7 years. So for someone to do something like that, I feel like I tried, but then, there's other things. That's why I said what I said, but people, I guess, weren't reading through the lines that I had to
Mhm.
protect me and my baby. You could forgive
Right.
someone for stuff like that, but when other things come into play, no, ma'am. You know what I mean? And that was just icing on the cake. So,
Yeah. Well, I want to say congratulations and thank you for being able to make that choice in that situation because, sometimes, we get lost in relationships and we get comfortable and
yeah.
we accept things that, that we normally wouldn't do. So, I mean, when I heard you, I wanted to hear more because you you know, you sound like a very smart young lady. You have your head on straight. You're raising your child. I mean, I
Right.
want to know more about you. So tell us about you. What do you do? Where are you from?
Oh, thank you for asking. I just want to let you know, I was watching you when all of that stuff took place with like um the Wiley show and Armand and like I don't want to say the people's names, you know,
It's
I
okay
don't
to say
know.
them. They're okay.
Okay, because
Yeah.
how the YouTubers do it, I don't know. I'm just a little, what is it called, a viewer, a subscriber. But you were
Well, listen,
funny,
let me
like,
just say this. When you come on a Queen Tulsa show, this is your
mhm.
time. This is your moment. We will not block anybody out. We're all about encouraging. If you know anybody else, promote their stuff. I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I just
floor is
wouldn't see
yours.
you from there. So I was like, I was interested in you. So when you came on with me, I was like, I was kind of like shocked. Like I was like, that's why I was kind of like, you could hear my voice. Like I was like, ooh, this is like, I'm used to like meeting important people, but
Yeah,
like you were saying, it's like 2020 really changed a lot of our lives. And then when we like came back, everything opened up. It was kind of like for me, I had more social anxiety than I ever had in my life. So
yeah.
yeah. But I'm basically from Seattle, Washington.
Okay. And what do you do?
I'm just a mom. I do hair. Like I work at a salon, but right now, like I've made like enough for the year. I'm good. Or for last year, so I'm good. I'm chilling with my son right now. I want to start school, back into school, so that's really the main focus from here.
Okay. And let me ask you this, like, with your struggles and experiences as a young black mom, what advice would you give to young moms that are coming up that are single parents? And it doesn't necessarily have to be moms, moms in general that are, make making things happen and still still keeping afloat, if that makes sense.
That's a great question, and I look at like YouTubers for guidance. To be honest, like I have my parents and everything, but I'm really like an independent person. Like before my child, I worked, I went to school, like I did everything on my own. So I'm not really used to like asking. Like my parents are there, but it's kind of like I really just go through life and make my mistakes and then I learn from them. Or I try to listen to what other people have been through and I take that and I run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I would just say, just keep your ears to the ground. Like anything you hear that you, even if you never experience, like just keep that in mind. Put it in the back of your head because it's like, even with cooking, like cooking recipes, like my mom always cooked. And if I get a craving for something, like I'll think about like a food I ate when I was a kid and I'll make it for my son. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's just about your memory. Like you got to have good memory. Don't let, excuse me, don't let anything block your memory, like don't let relationships, don't let, you know, fear, don't let anything block you. Just try to like be present, as much as you can.
right. Now let me ask you this.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, with the game that I played with the guys yesterday, what were your thoughts? What were your opinions on that?
I thought you were like hosting. Like to me, it just was like a hosting party, like a but going deeper, I would say, you know, it's something that's, I don't know. I feel like that's normal. Ever since I was like in high school, like we always played games, like we always like had fun and stuff. So whatever the topic was, like that's what we talked about. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to like. I think you said earlier, like you went in not with no like motives basically, and
Right.
it was just a conversation. It was just like fun, like But then it became an what did you say earlier, like they basically, it became like a support, like everybody from there was like on the same page, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
So
how do you feel
I just
about
think you were just trying to be good, like.
right now? How do you feel about like I kind of was in the comments and like after the video or like whenever I get a notification and I find people saying, "Oh my God, you tricked," or "You tricking people." Do you think a woman
No,
of my background should just when I meet somebody just say, "Hey, this is what it is." Like,
no,
do I do I owe them that?
no, I don't think so. Because honestly, like, just from your energy, I didn't care. So it's like I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't think I personally don't think you should, or anyone should. Like at this point in time, like people, my son has long hair. People mistake him for being a girl all the time.
Mhm.
It doesn't bother me. I feel like, you know, it's okay. Like I let my son play with toys. Like I don't care about stuff like that. So like I think Mr. Vaughn was saying was like he was raised a little bit in like a certain structure, and so was I, but at the same time I grew up in Washington. So it's like I always
Right.
had like gay friends. Like I always like I used to ask my mom, hey, can I have my gay friend spend the night? And at first my mom was like, and then she had to realize like this is my friend. Like, you know, there is no like you
Love
were saying,
connection.
no love connection. So I feel like if it's not a love connection, no ma'am, it's not your business.
Right. And well, it just kind of, if you can see me, I was like,
You're
and then it
beautiful.
was just like, well, what was going through my mind was I wanted to say more, but I said, we'll have more time for that because a person is not going to learn overnight. And I think it works both ways on that. It's both of us learning each other. And I guess what I was saying was when Jason had come up,
Yeah.
guys don't care, and I didn't want to say it like that. But like when it comes to he's like, how do you know this and how do you know that? Well, I can't give y'all all my nuggets on camera. I just couldn't. And I didn't want the people to think like, oh, she's just trying to hide something. No, people just like people like what they like. You know,
Yeah.
I know I want a certain type of porn. I'm gonna go and look for it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Let's just say that people know what they want. They know what they're attracted to. No, not everybody is, but everybody, I just feel like everybody should just be free spirited people and be able to just do what they want to do without the judgment.
Oh my God. Yes. Like, and that's how you're viewing things, and we can definitely relate because it's like I was reading some of the comments for my situation. I'm like, how can people give their opinion on somebody a little snippet of someone's
Snip.
life?
Well, I love the engagement because it lets me know people are interested and they want to learn. And I've learned that people get frustrated with what they don't understand. And
Yeah.
experiences from generation to generation, the generational information that was passed along, we have to break those cycles and those habits. And this goes from the younger generation to the older generation because times have changed. And you know you're looking at our older generation, they're still looking at it life out of the lens of back then. It's like times have changed. And if we all want to be, want to please God, well, let's start by forgiving people. Let's forgive ourselves. Let's love our neighbor. Let's just be nice, and things will be a little bit better in our lives. Even if you
Hmm.
don't believe in God, just when you get up in the morning, say, I pray for, or I want to receive gratitude. I want to show gratitude, you know?
Yeah, or even just pray for the world. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. We don't have to. I feel like I read something a while ago where it was saying how a lot of us, especially in the Black community, we're very um, it's like independent, but we're basically we only care about ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just sucks. Before this whole like before me getting on the live, before this you getting on live, like I didn't realize like someone who does not know me would sit and listen to me. You know what I mean? So it's like it gave me motivation. I feel like it gave a lot of people motivation from here, and we just have to like take it and run with it. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep the
Yeah.
momentum.
Now let's keep that momentum, mommy. You were in broadcast. I think you were saying that earlier. Elaborate on that, like, um, and I want to hear like a. I want to hear, um, I want to hear like not a testimony. I want to hear something good from you that you're gonna take throughout this year.
Honestly, I just watched something today that really resonated with me about how just because it's a new year, you don't have to feel like you have to grow as a person in order to like feel like you have a place in this earth. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
and I know that kind of maybe the way I'm saying it could be contradicting myself, but what I got from it was basically we all have a place on this earth. So I just want to start with that. Whether we accomplish a lot, like we keep accomplishing more and more, you still will always have a place on this earth. Whether you work at McDonald's, wherever, like you're still here for a reason. So for what I want to do in 2022 in order to like keep my momentum, keep going, is I just want to just keep my same energy, like how Mr. Vaughn was saying, is like, I kind of was doing a lot of cussing and I feel really bad because normally I don't talk like that to people, especially if they're like older than me. And he's not that much
Yeah.
older. Storm's not that much older, but I kind of was like, ooh, it takes away from what you're saying. But basically, I just want to keep that same energy of just being a strong woman. Like before, I felt so weak. I felt like I couldn't defend myself. I'm not gonna say I felt like a victim, but I just felt weak, and I just never want to feel like that ever again. So I just want to always keep telling myself I can get through anything.
Okay. And I'll just say this, write
Hmm.
this in your journal or save it in
Yeah.
your notes, but always write this down. Always
Okay.
believe something wonderful is going to happen.
Right, and you did say that yesterday.
And listen, when you having one of those days and you know you don't, know how you're gonna push through, look at
Yeah.
that and you're gonna find something wonderful out that day. Well, we can already start. Something wonderful started for us today. We got to fellowship is what I like to call it. We got the fellowship. I, you know, got to see different points of views, and
Yeah.
we also fed each other some knowledge and some education.
Correct. Yes. And that's the best part. Like I feel you when you said yesterday about how like the making sure you write down or you tell yourself every day that you know something wonderful is going to happen, because literally this week or like New Year's, something wonderful has literally happened to me like every day. So it's like I'm just grateful, you know what I mean? And as far as like career wise and things like that, like I said, I want to go back to school. I don't know if it's gonna be like spring quarter or anything. It's probably gonna be pushing more summer, but I just
Yeah,
want to just really just like I said, like I've literally, and that's another thing people were saying about like my maturity level, and I'm like, you have no idea how much I've put my family on my back, and that's not even like to brag or anything, but it's like
right.
I've did so much. Like, please don't ever insult me just because of, But at the same time, I get it. It was the narrative that I was
Yeah,
giving, but at the same time, it's like that just made me see like who cares what people think, honestly. As long as I got it out, you know what I mean? And if there's someone
right.
there were people that related, so that's all that
Because
matters.
guess what? At the end of the day, that was your situation. It wasn't mine. It wasn't
Yeah.
theirs. you know,
Nope.
you knew the details, and like you said, we that was just a split moment.
Yeah.
However, I just feel like going forward, when people
Yeah.
watch our content, I just want them to, you know, that's why I say try to take something from the video. If it's something that you want to talk about, something that you don't know, something that you're struggling with, I'm always open for feedback. If you have a topic that you're not comfortable with talking about, discreetly email it to me.
Yeah.
I want to have uncomfortable conversations. I want to have cool conversations. I want to be shown in a light. I can hang out with my brothers and I can out with my sisters on two different occasions, and we still all cool. We can all hang out together and it's still all cool. So it's just
Mhm.
teaching people to get along with people.
Yeah, yes. And you seem very, very like easygoing. Like you don't seem like you come for people. Sometimes people will come for people first before they really get to know them, and you don't seem like that at all. Honestly, how you carried yourself through that whole live, I you did not once disrespect anybody. You know what I mean? In my like opinion, I don't feel like you did. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just that like we were talking about, it's just that one like little layer that, thank God for Storm and Mr. Vaughn, that it was able to be like, and Mr. Jason too, it was able to be, you know what I mean, like
Well, you want to know why? Because
transparent.
they were willing to listen. They were willing to understand. And I think with some of the past experiences, people will see things or people will, know of things and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to touch that." But they
Yeah.
put their guards down and they say, "Hey, let's give this sister a chance." When he
Yes.
dropped it and I came back, I was like, "Okay." And then that's why I said, "Thank you for letting me come back so I can make it right." Because
Hmm.
that's what it's about in life, making it right.
Yeah. And that was that I have to say that was very like, I'm glad that I
Heartfelt.
was able to witness that, honestly,
Yes.
because I know people like in my city right now that they would not ever experience something like that. And I'm not trying to like say anything, but it's just like you really
Mhm.
have to be a well-rounded person to be tapped into something like that. You know what I mean? So whether,
Absolutely.
whether it was like you had to come back in, whatever, at the end of the day, it was still like being processed of the fact that like no, everybody is important, everybody is included, you know.
Yeah.
So but the main thing like,
And
yeah.
well, it's for the black man, his character is always slaughtered. Let's just say that. And, I see
Yeah.
so much in those men. And I feel like when they find their wives and stuff, they're going to be the best husbands because, like I said, life is a journey. And all
Right.
these
Right.
experiences,
That's true.
you got to go through something to know something. And, we might feel like, oh, this fell apart. No, baby, it did not fall apart.
Mm.
It was all a part of the plan. Trust the
Mm.
process. And I want you to do that this year. Trust the process. It doesn't matter if you start school in the springtime or whether you do it summer school or in the fall, as long as you do it. Whenever you want to do it. It's up to you because at the end of the day, you can't do it for me. Because when you go to school, you got to be in a classroom. You got to listen. You got to focus. So
Yeah.
put yourself forward and do it at your own leisure.
Yes, but sis, I've been out of school like since I was like
Hurry
since
up
my
and get
really,
back in there.
huh?
Hurry up and get back in there.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, no, I had my whole life planned out. Like I had my whole life planned out. And then, whatever, old news. But now I'm just like I'm ready to get back into school. I want to do human services. Like I pretty much want to do like social work. That's what I'm interested in.
Yes. I could definitely see in that field. You're gonna
Yeah,
bless
I
a
just
lot of people.
that's all I want to do. Like I don't know. That's to me like with social work or just because I used to work when I was like younger and a teen, not a teen, but like early 20s. I used to work with youth, and I was a youth, and I was experiencing what they were experiencing, but I was just like in that like admin role or whatever. And I
Yeah.
would do the most for those kids because I know how it feels. You know what I mean? And I would always be happy to like make the little notation, oh, so and so got a job, oh, so and so is getting enrolled in school after, they dropped out of high school. So I kind of can see in like, I don't know, I like you said about the gentleman, Mr. Storm, Mr. Jason, Mr. Vaughn.
Mhm.
You see a lot of good things in them, and you probably, because of your interaction with them, because I had dropped off, so your interaction with them, like you had like it was just you guys had your own interaction engagement.
Yeah.
So
And that
that
was
can
my
speak
first time
for
being on the
sure.
panel with, well, it was my first time being on the panel where where I was included into the conversation. And that was my
Really?
first that was those first time that was my first time meeting
Oh.
those one-on-one. Now Vaughn, he was on the Conscious TV show.
Hmm.
Um he was there, and then Storm had come through too, but it wasn't like the engagement that we had on Vaughn's channel.
Oh, see, says how it looks for us people watching. It looks like you guys all know each other.
You
But
know,
that's just what I thought.
that's how you know when it's natural. It doesn't look
Okay.
scripted. It doesn't feel scripted. And one of my one of my mentors, she
Hmm.
just told me also just be yourself. You're funny as hell. Just be
You
yourself.
are.
And it took me a while to, find my angle, but it's like now, I'm paying attention, like with my thumbnail. I made that on my own. Like I'm just trying to I'm passionate about it and I want it to show. So, like I said, continue to follow me. And I definitely want to bring you back on because I feel like you're going to have more great news. And I want you to share it with the people and let them know, like, you know,
I'm a work
put
in
your
progress.
you're a work in progress, but you're it's a beautiful sight. It's a beautiful lesson in it all. And just to hear how passionate you are. I mean, you don't really find too many people that are passionate, that are taking care of their kids, taking care of their responsibilities. There are stereotypes. So thank
Yes.
you for 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 proving to the world and to yourself and to your family that they raised a star, baby. You're superstar. We're all superstars. We all bring something to the table. We all have a gift. It's all about finding
Yes.
your niche and running with it.
Hmm. Yes. And I have a lot of niches. So, eh, that's where I get a little bit distracted.
Hmm.
but but yeah, I
Just
was gonna
narrow
ask
it
you.
down. Yeah, narrow it down, and then you'll come up with the one that you're really, really devoted to,
Hmm.
and it'll take off.
Right. I was gonna ask you like, have you like have you ever thought of like do you take pictures? Like I need to follow you on Instagram. Like do you take pictures? Like what are you into? Are you into like just YouTube? Like
Well, that's funny. I want to eventually have like my own boutique, but
gotcha.
really it's just YouTube and public speaking, motivational speaking is really like my niche.
Mm.
And I'm actually going to be coming up with some ideas and putting some thoughts together. I just joined a women's group, Women Helping Other Women. It's an organization here in Tulsa with other women with businesses. So I will be reaching out to them,
Congratulations.
signing up for membership. Thank you. Signing up for my membership with them and doing some great things within my community and growing my motivational speaking and public speaking.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I see you. I see you. And with that
So
fashion boutique, let me know because I love fashion.
okay, okay. I definitely will. You know, it takes time. I don't want to put anything out there that's rushed. And, I'm very passionate about like, my content and stuff. Like I said, I'm growing in all areas, but yeah, definitely will keep you up to date.
Well, I'm sure as long as you get like a couple pieces, I know a young lady in my area, and like I always go to her boutique, and I really want to ask her like, where do you like order this stuff from? Like, she
Yeah.
always has it like fully stocked every year, and I'm just like, it seems so easy, but yeah, it's a lot of work and passion involved. So,
Yes.
and then the other thing
So,
I was gonna ask you is, what is your area like? Like, is it? I know you said you live on like or live basically in Black Wall Street, but
so my area, so here in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
mhm,
the area, what is my area like? There are a lot of resources in my area.
mhm,
There's a lot of support. Like I said, the Black Wall Street is, it's been rebuilding for a while now. However, they also have um, an opportunity for black owned female business owners, and I will be checking that information out. So as I'm going along with the things that are going on in my town, I'm definitely gonna
post it.
yeah, definitely try to I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna get that content and definitely inform everybody that's watching.
Cool, thank you. Because I had a friend that lived in Oklahoma for a little bit, and I was like, it seemed interesting. I don't know, it just seemed interesting. I didn't really know what was interesting about it, but I was just like, I wonder like if I should go visit and things like that. But
Yeah, well, so 1921 there was a race massacre. Um, Dick Rowland, Sarah Page. It's a book called Hannibal Johnson. It tells you about Black Wall Street. So if you get a chance, look up Hannibal Johnson
it
and
sounds familiar.
Black,
Yes,
Black Wall Street. That'll give you
yes.
some reference to what happened.
Thank you. Okay, okay. But yes, I just stopped in. I was just talking, and I was putting my son to sleep. I'm so sorry in the beginning. You probably like heard him. Like, I'm telling you, my son is with me 24/7. I am a real single mom. Like,
Listen, listen, we invited here. This is your time. This is your moment. We accept you for you. If you come and you got 5 children, we love you. And guess what? If they want to make some noise, hey, how y'all doing? And your baby was not a problem. I have children, um,
yes.
dogs, cats, chickens. So you might hear them go
Oh,
off. Roosters.
I feel you. I was just watching. Like, I really want. I've always wanted a dwarf pig. Like, I think they're so cute.
I want a potbelly pig, um, but my husband got a golden lab. It's a
Hmm.
golden lab, and girl, she is hyper. I mean, she's got so much energy. Like, I don't think I have energy for anything else. And thank God not thank God they gone, but thank God we don't have them because she probably would try to attack them.
You guys had a gecko?
We had two pet geckos, leopard geckos.
Oh,
So it was Velvet and Nugget, but they both passed away.
I'm sorry.
It's
They
okay, girl.
No,
Life
I know
happens.
that they're a part of the family. Like, I had a neighbor who had snakes, birds, like every animal in their house, and they were just, I don't know. They're just so cool. Like,
Listen,
I don't know. It's so cool. Like, animals to me, I mess with animals more than I mess with people sometimes.
and that's the problem. So listen,
Hmm.
well, we had got his fish like 1 year, and so I don't I me and Honey forgot to feed the fish, so they died. So I was like, oh my god, like what are we gonna tell the kids?
Oh,
Like the fish have died. So Honey was like, just throw them away or flush them down the toilet or some shit like that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, so then when they came back, I said, oh my god, I have something horrible to tell you. They were like, "What?" I said, "The fish passed." They were like, "Oh, okay. Oh, okay." Yeah. So
Which
when
is
it comes to animals,
he took it well.
yeah. But then the gecko, when Velvet passed away, I made sure we had a funeral and she's buried outside in the front. But then
As she should.
When it came to Nugget, I don't know what they did with her.
Oh,
So
oh,
I had a problem with that. So I don't know. I'm just, I take my pets very seriously. So yeah, like I love the wildlife.
I did too. We don't have any. We just moved in July, so I'm still like trying to get the house organized, which is coming together. Like obviously it's the beginning of the year, but it's just I just want a couple more things. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
focused on. But I really want to get my son a puppy. I love Rottweilers, but I know somebody who sells
Oh,
pit
yeah.
bulls for a good price.
Yes. And they're both great dogs.
I love Rottweilers. Oh my gosh, I love them.
Yeah, it's just oh my God, they just have like that intent. I don't know. It's just like that. Not to go up in their house.
Oh no, my Rottweiler, geez, he would more than likely let you in the house. It was just certain. There was one person because I used to live on an island out here, and there was just
Oh,
one of my friends' dads. He did my Rottweiler Goliath did not like him, and it was because one night he was coming down our driveway. We had a long driveway. It was like I wouldn't say it was a mile long, but it was like a walk. It was a good walk, and and it was surrounded by trees. So all my dog saw was the guy's shadow. So basically, my dog started like growling and like barking, and I guess like my mom had to like pull my dog back, and my dog never does that. Like he never did that.
mm,
So it was just a funny story because it was like that was the only person he didn't like, and we always just thought it was because my friend's dad was like short and stout, so it like intimidated my dog.
yeah.
It was just like, and my dog, he would let raccoons steal his food. He did not care about nobody. He would go up to you and lick you. But this one person, he was like, "Nah, I'm not having it, bro." Like,
Yeah.
well,
It's time for you to turn around.
exactly. It's time for you to go. But then I think he came to our house after that. But it was just maybe, like you said, when you were like, "Don't come to my house" because it was dark. He was like, "Oh no, we're not having that." Like,
Right.
but if it
He
was
saw
like
it as a threat.
yeah, I was just like, that's when I knew I fell in love with Rottweilers. I was like, nah, if a real like danger like was to happen, that's when they really they
Oh
will
yeah. They're
territorial.
great family dogs. Yeah, they will definitely protect their family. One of my family members have one. And that's why I said like he was like, you know, the way he got him trained, can't nobody come up in that house. You come up in the house or something, you gonna get it. But yeah,
You gonna get that's fun, and
like
that's
he's
how.
he's a nice dog, but when I mean he listens to him so good. Like he's a nice dog, don't get me wrong. But when he says, whatever command that he gives him, he listens.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is a really good dog because sometimes they only want to
He's
do
not
it for
just
the
a biter.
treats.
Yeah, he's not just a biter. He only if he sees that his owner's in in a situation, yeah, he's gonna attack. But yeah.
I hear you, and pit bulls, like I have a soft spot for them as well, and Rottweilers because it's like my family they had a pit bull. It was like since I could remember, every time I'd visit to go see my dad and stuff, she was always there. Like since I was in elementary school, and then when I went to go live with my dad's side of the family, I was living with Adana. That's the pit bull, and
Mhm.
me and her just we became best friends. Like that girl
It's not a-
got me through a lot.
You know what? Speaking of, so for my Yorkie, I got him a little dog tag. It says cheaper than therapy. When I
Yep.
tell you, no, but when I tell you, so he was a rescue, And when I got him, we clicked automatically. And girl, he's so juicy. And I'm sitting at that table, I give him a piece of bacon. So yeah, I cook us a piece of bacon and biscuits together.
That is the best thing. On Saturdays we have brunch. Like, stop playing.
Yeah, and listen, he loves grapes. He loves his
I've
fruit.
never seen a dog that eats fruit. Eats fruit.
Girl, he loves his grapes, child. Don't try to take them.
Yeah, that's a different type of Yorkie. I don't know about that.
I said he's been here before. The way, like, I had some things happen.
Mhm.
Like, my best friend had passed away. And this is my best friend since like kindergarten. And we went
Oh
through
my
life.
god.
She was a sister that that I never had, and I got her. But yeah,
Oh,
she left us in 2020, and I just was. It was May 5th, 2020, and I spoke to her the night before, and we had talked, and she said, I said, "Well, sis, you feel like you ready to go to heaven?" She was like, "Well, sis, I've been posting I've been reading my Bible, I've been posting my scriptures, and I've been praying." And when we got off the phone that night, we didn't say that we love each other, and that was very different. However, the next day, one of our mutual friends that we grew up with as well, she called me. She was like, "Did you hear about Jemiah?" And I was like, "What?" She was like, "She passed away." I was like, that's my best friend. So I'm like, stop lying. But I didn't say it that way. Um, but yeah,
mm,
I was like, let me call you back. So then I looked and I was like, oh my God. So yeah, um, I felt like I couldn't go on. Like my best friend, like that's my best friend. Like I trust her. I still trust her. Like she could be topless, or we could be on FaceTime. My husband could come in. I might say, "Hey, honey," say, "Hey." I trust her. That's my best friend. He knew the bond that we had. I tell her
yeah.
everything. She knows everything about me. And I, when she left me, he was like, "I never saw you cry for anybody like you cried for her." And I
I'm
was
getting
like,
chills.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like it was, that saying, like, why you looking like you lost your best friend? But girl, I did. And I just had no understanding. I didn't trust anybody. I was trying to find ways of like, how can I get her off my mind? If I listened to a certain song, I would just bawl because that would be our song. Moving forward, um, I've been able to um, be okay with it. Be okay with her not being here in the present, but being here in spirit. And I feel
Yes.
like I have a place in my garage, and I have her picture up, so that's like my kicking spot. So if I want
Yes.
to, I'm out there chilling with her and any accomplishments. And at first I was like, how can I, like it was things going on and I want to tell her about. I'm like, how can I tell her this? And it just came to me, make an altar. I sit out there, I
Mm-hmm.
chill, you know, and I went to her surgeon. And this was the part that almost got me. So the day of my surgery, I didn't know that you walk back there, you lay on that table or lay in a chair. I don't know what it was,
Mm-hmm.
but so I had my song going because I was like, I want to listen to this certain song while I'm in there, while y'all get me ready. And when I woke up, I was just excited and I had made it through. But I had felt her presence there, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense because I'm pretty sure they put you in a like a sedative, or they like, you know what I mean?
And check this out. So she had passed, and then we had another friend. My name is Maya. That's my first name. Our other friend named Amaya, me and her, we were in we were in contact with each other. Well, Amaya just passed um in September of last year. So it's
Oh my
like, wow. And so now I just look at it like this. I love them. I know where they are. They don't have to worry. There's no more hurt. They don't have to be on this earth and suffer from anything anymore. No stress, no anything. You know,
yes,
you just
yes,
have to carry this torch and think of them, and keep
yes.
going. So
No,
I
you're
say
right.
this is when you're going through this year, remember those people that didn't make it and rooted for you. We, let that be your motivation. No, nobody's forgotten about you.